Hello everyone, so I am doing the Q&A part 2 for this video. I did get a ton more questions, so I'm going to be answering the rest of those in this video. So I hope you guys enjoy. So the first question is, do I inbreed my rabbits? I do support the father to daughter scenario, the mother to son scenario. But I do not do siblings. That just kind of takes it too far. You have to be able to cull really hard with that kind of stuff, and I'm just not the greatest with that. So, no, I mean, I do this father to son, mother to daughter. Or, I mean, mother to son and daughter to father, sorry. But I do that on a few occasions. Most of the time I just try to stay away from that kind of stuff, but sometimes I do if I really like what I see. So the next question is, will I do a video evaluating babies? I have gotten a lot of interest in a video like that, and I'm hoping to do it with these babies as soon as they hit 3 or 4 weeks old. So hopefully I will be able to do that for you guys, but I am going to try. The next question is, do I use wire cages and what brand? I do use wire cages. I mean, as you can see, I like them. Not so much these black ones. They are bigger, but I just don't like, I mean, the whole swing up door thing is just not my thing. But these are the Tractor Supply brand. I just got them at my local Tractor Supply. My other cages, like these ones, I got them, these 2 stackers, the 24x24 stacker and then the 24x30 stacker over here from Woody's Wabbits online. I really like those cages. They're premium, so they come with baby saver wire, urine guards, everything like that. And this cage I got from Pointer Hill Cages. It's 30x24, I believe. So, yep, that's where I get my cages. Oh, and then I have that cage right there, that black one, is from Amazon. I think it's the Wabbitat cage, but yep, that's where I get my cages. Do I use heat lamps in the winter for the babies? I have. The winter here was not that cold this year, surprisingly. Here in Colorado it gets pretty cold, but it wasn't too cold for us. I did use the heat lamp once for a litter. Was this cage, but not that doe. Her name was Dixie, and she only had one little baby, and I was afraid it would get cold, so I kept the heat lamp on it for about a week or so, till I got its fur and everything, but that's the only time I used a heat lamp. The next question is, how do you keep your water bottles from freezing in the winter? I don't use water bottles. I just use the bowls. It's just more natural for the rabbits to drink like that. I mean, but they do freeze in the winter still. I prefer the plastic. These metal ones are like $2 on Chewy. I like these ones. The ice just pops right out. I have a couple different ones. A ceramic bowl here in Willow's cage. A little plastic bird one in Spectrum's cage. Don't really like that one. And then I just have like the lock ones. But yeah, I just pop the ice out. I mean, there's really no way of keeping it from freezing. But the next question is, how do you keep your rabbits warm in the winter? Keeping them warm, they do a lot better in the heat, or I mean in the cold air, than they do in the hot summer months. So I never really had a problem with keeping them warm. If it was a really, really cold night, I would just line hay in their cages, but they didn't really use it, so I mean, there was no issue. They are in a shed, as you can see. The walls are insulating on the back, so, but it still did get pretty cold back there. The shed goes farther back, but I had stuff, you know, in my shed, so I can't use the whole shed, but I just pushed it back and then put like a tarp right there to block the wind out. But they stay nice and warm and dry in here, so that's how I do it. The sweetest kind of rabbit. Obviously, I raise Holland Lops, and they are just the cutest little things. Miss Clementine here is a wonderful mama. I love Holland Lops. I did raise mini Rex a few months ago, and I loved those bunnies too. They were all very sweet, but of course my favorite would be Holland Lops. The next question is, how do you choose who to keep? When I am keeping a bunny, you know, from a litter, I obviously keep them by who I think could make my herd better. So like these two over here. This is Snickers. He is a Harlequin junior buck. He was in Cookie's last litter, so he is 13 weeks now. And along with his sister, Mocha up here, she is also a Harlequin Holland Lop junior doe. I kept them, obviously, number one, for color because I needed a few more Harlequins. And they both had really nice ears and a nice crown. They were all very full in the body area, which was what I was really looking for because their mother has really long ears and they both had shorter ears, which was really nice. So I could clearly pair them with my tri-bucks and stuff, and I could pair Snickers to Miss Clementine here and get Harley's. As you can see, she didn't have any in this litter because I did breed her to another tri. So that being said, I bred 2 Brokens together and got all Brokens and a few Charlies, as you can see. And I was looking for more Harleys, so that's why I kept the one baby from the last litter. The next question, how far have you traveled for a show? Not very far, just around Colorado. Probably the farthest would be like the Hotchkiss shows or so. Those are about 3 or 4 hours away, but that's about as far as I've ever traveled for a show. The next question is, what's the most you've paid for a rabbit? My most expensive rabbit that I have at the moment would probably either be Poseidon or Blue. Poseidon, he's up here. He is the herd bug of the rabbitry. I paid, I believe, $130 or $40 for him, which isn't a ton. I paid almost upward to $200 for Blue. He's over here. I don't know if you guys can see him, sorry, but he's my tri-buck. He's the herd buck of the tries. But yeah, that's about as much as I've paid for a rabbit. I usually don't pay more than $200 because that, I mean, unless, you know, I really, really like the rabbit, but yep, that's about as much as I've paid. The next question is, how do you pose Holland Lops? I will have to do that in another video, obviously. I'm not going to try to get one out right now and try to pose them for you, but I will do a video. I usually start them at about this age, almost 3 weeks old. Just getting them used to me touching them and touching their head and their bottom. Getting them posed up so they're used to me doing it as they get older. But I will definitely do a video on that, so look out for that. The next question, how do you decide if a rabbit is brood quality? A brood quality rabbit just means that they're still nice looking, but they aren't good enough for the show tables. They would get DQ'd. So Miss Clementine here would get DQ'd because she has short shoulders in the front. Her crown is slipped, and she kind of, what else is, yeah, she just has a really long back. Not as much as, you know, compact as I would like, but that makes her brood because she is over 4 pounds. And she has large litters. But she's still a nice quality rabbit, just not nice enough for the show tables. Evaluating babies as brood quality, that all depends on, obviously how big the baby gets. Any DQs that it may have. The only really way to know is if it's brood is how big, how much it will weigh when it's older. The way I do it is like how I make these guys brood. This buck down here, he is pretty large, and so is his sister. So they will both make, they're going to be too heavy to be show quality, but they're going to be just heavy enough to be brewed, to, you know, throw really nice babies. So hopefully that answers your question. Sorry if that was confusing, but the next question is, how did I start my rabbitry? Like I said in the last video, I started with my Dutch doe. She's down here. She has a litter on her right now, actually. She is the only mixed breed that I have in here. She is full Dutch, but her babies are mixed. Only mixed breed that I do. But I bred her for, she was the first doe I bred many years ago. So that's pretty much how it all started, and my rabbitry was actually outside for a really long time, and I only had about 5 rabbits. But as I started having more and more litters, I started keeping more rabbits. I would buy different rabbits from other breeders, and yeah, so that's pretty much how it started. The next question is, how many bucks and does to start your rabbitry? I recommend finding the nicest quality rabbits that you can find when you first start out. Don't just buy anything. I mean, because surprisingly, that's a lot of what people do. That is what I did when I first started, was just buy any kind of rabbit, you know, and breed them. That's what I did. And I regret doing that, but now that I've been doing it for so long, I now know, you know, how to evaluate my rabbits to meet the standard. So I would start out with at least 2 of the best quality rabbits you can find, and don't just buy any rabbit. Do your research, all kinds of stuff. If you really want to win on the show tables, you need to have nice quality rabbits. So that's what you need to do. The next question is, should you spay and neuter your rabbits? I mean, clearly for breeders, no, I do not spay or neuter my rabbits. For pet homes, I do recommend getting your males spayed or neutered. Because males, as they mature, they start spraying. Some males do, some males don't. But I'm not against it, but obviously it's not necessary, I don't think. I mean, if you're never going to breed them, I don't think it should be an issue. Because spaying females rabbits is very dangerous. It's a lot easier to get a male neutered than it is to spay a female. But that is just how I see it. Maybe Clementine. Anyways, so yeah, I mean, if you want to, it's not super necessary, but it could help with some of the behaviors that they get when they're older. So the next question is how to handle nervous rabbits. I have a few rabbits in here that didn't come from me, that weren't born here, that absolutely hate being touched and handled because the breeders before me that had them didn't handle them a ton. That's why I like to handle my babies from the day that they're born to the day that they leave, multiple times a day, to make sure that they make great pets and great brood and show quality animals for people to handle and to pick up. So the way I pick up, you know, my rabbits that don't like being touched, don't like being picked up, like Mr. Spectrum down here, he absolutely does not like being touched. I would just open, you know, his cage. I'll let him smell me for quite a while. And I'll slowly, you know, start petting his head, you know, just like this. Letting him get to know me. Picking him up is a whole nother story. If you don't have to pick them up, you know, don't. If it's not super necessary, then it's not good to freak him out and all kinds of stuff like that. So, just do it slow. I mean, if you have pets that are like that, then I mean, it'll take a lot of time for rabbits to gain your trust. So just give them lots of love, and I mean, I guess that's all you can kind of hope and pray for. But the next question, the last question, is how do I tattoo my rabbits? I bought the KB Tat tattooer from All Things Bunny. I think it was like 60 or 70 bucks maybe for the kit, and it's just a pen almost kind of thing. It doesn't need to be plugged in. It's not a clamp or anything, and I really, really like that tattooer. I use numbing spray beforehand. I mean, some people recommend it, some people don't. I like to use it just because I feel really bad. But so I use the numbing spray so they don't feel it at all. And I just do it in the left ear because right ear is reserved for registration and Grand Champion letters and numbers. Yeah, that's how I do it. And then I just use bunny balm on the ear afterwards and just watch to make sure that it doesn't become infected. And I've never had an issue tattooing rabbits. I mean, they obviously can't feel it, so they aren't squirming or anything. But yes, so that is it for the Q&A. I hope I answered all of your guys' questions to the best of my knowledge. So I hope to see you guys in the next video. Bye.